And welcome back, John Morris Show on a Tuesday. We appreciate your being with us today, wherever you're tuned in, whenever you might be watching. But folks, join me in welcoming Baylor softball coach Glenn Moore, 26th season at Baylor. G-Mo, good to see you. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Licking our wounds a little bit, but I'm doing good. Thanks.
Well, I was there last night. Kelly and I did the telecast, but didn't get to see or speak to you. But tough game. I mean, nice comeback to have the 5-run sixth inning and take the lead, but then drop the game in extra innings. Pretty good fight in your team to come back and actually take the lead.
Yeah, and it's been a frustrating 2 weeks, I guess. We've just had rough go ever since the Texas weekend. We've had trouble getting back on our feet and had some bad luck as well. And man, hit some balls right to people over and over. Coach Hoot and I were talking this morning. Never have seen so many balls that balls off the hands that fall in for the other team, and then balls like Leah Cran's last night that just a shot up the middle and don't get anything out of it. So we've had some bad luck and hoping that'll change soon. But it's been a frustrating 2 weeks. But yeah, the girls keep fighting. It's no quit in this team. But we've got to take control of the things that we can. You saw pop-ups drop. We've dropped 4 pop-ups, and that you don't really coach that. Just get out there and hit pop-ups. But I mean, those are things they've done since they were in the 5th grade, and those will come back around. I'm certain of that.
There was one that ended up being pretty costly, kind of a pop, shallow right field, and neither the second baseman or the right fielder came in, and they scored 2 runs on it. I guess those were the 2 runs in the 9th, right?
It was. We came back and we took the lead and tried to push another one across because just wasn't confident that 1 run would hold, and balls hit into the behind second base, as you said, and we've got a kid out there, Samaya Jones, got world-class speed and can easily catch that. Lost it in the lights, then notified the second baseman, who is really too shallow, and now she's got to go back and a ball drops with 2 outs that would have ended the inning, and 2 runs on base and moving with the full count. And so they end up scoring those 2 runs, and we barreled up 2 balls in that last inning, but they went right to people again. So we got some bad luck going on, along with some poor play at the same time. That's a combination of, a formula that doesn't lead to wins.
Yeah, and 38, you've played 38 games now, and you've had 38 different lineups. How has that happened? That's hard to do.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. We've shift some things around, and I didn't realize that we haven't had two consecutive or 2 identical lineups. But right now, we're replacing Katie Dawson with somebody trying to find some power to replace her right now, and I thought Lexi Warnke did a good job coming in, getting her first. I think it was first at bats of the year, but she went 2 for 4 last night and hit 2 balls to the warning track, and then had both were caught, and then she had 2 more hits on top of that. So she showed up last night, and there's some bright spots, but it's just not consistent enough.
And for those who don't know, Lexi Warnicke's one of your pitchers. She actually pitched later in the game, but she was in as the DP in the lineup and did really well. I mean, she hit, like you said, 2 balls to the warning track and had a couple of hits.
She's a powerful hitter and has hit well in high school. We just protect those if we have someone to hit. And I always tell pitchers when they come here and they want to hit, if you can break into our top 12, you'll probably get the hit, But with this year, our lineup was looking really good. We've lost, again, we have an injury-plagued program, and we've lost a couple that have allowed her to move up there, and she really took advantage of it, and you probably see more of her from now on.
One of those injuries happened over the weekend. Tough loss with Carrington Dawson. Do you know, will you get her back, or do you know how long she might be out?
No, she's out. Torn ACL, and leadoff hitter, one of the best hitters in our program year after the last 2 years. And a lot of speed, outfielder, just a great team leader. Huge blow to her, as obviously, but to the program as well. So we're disappointed in that. Somebody else is going to have to step up, and sometimes, John, when that happens, it's it's an emotional shock to the team. It does set you back a little bit on your heels, and it don't respond right away, although you'd like to be in a position to do that. But she's a big part of our success that we've had this year, and we're going to have to find a way to get above it.
I thought that exact thing last night, and I asked Kelly Harrell, who I was working with, you get an injury like that, and sometimes it just kind of rocks the team, and it takes a little while to adjust. You got to continue, you got to play, you got to continue even without her.
Yeah, and that may be what we're going through. I don't know. We have just played we've played poor softball. We've played ugly softball lately, and we played so well for such a long time. But in the same sense, we talked about our youth. We're not young anymore. We got a half season under our belt. But in the same sense, we had won a lot of games like we almost won last night. But as I told the team, it's a game of percentages, and it's going to haunt you if you keep putting yourself in that position. Well, we've seen that a few times lately. We saw it with Houston in game 1 and the 15-inning game there. We saw it last night. Now the tables have turned and the percentages are coming around not in our favor as they were earlier in the season, and we've got to reverse that somehow.
You've got Brooklyn Carter in the leadoff spot. I think she's pretty good in that spot with her speed. Saw her score on a sacrifice fly from second base last night.
Have you you've seen a lot of softball? Have you ever seen a more dynamic player or base runner than Brooklyn? I give her so much freedom because she thinks at a different level than anyone else I've ever coached on the bases. She just really can time a throw back in. She took a big risk last night, but I give her the freedom to do that. I think she times it to where she thinks they're going to lob it back in at times whenever this one held on to it a little bit, and she took off anyway, but still managed to get in. And I would say, in the 90% range that she makes something happen in a situation like that that's positive. So that's why I don't pull back the reins with her. She can run the bases. I call her a wizard on the bases. She's one of the best I've ever seen, and really fun to watch.
Yeah, really, really fun to watch. A couple of stolen bases in there last night, and kind of not just stolen base per se, but stealing bases, like scoring on that sac fly, and the way she scored on a short sacrifice fly to left field in the first inning. That person wasn't a given. She could score from third.
Yeah, and that's not that uncommon. Whenever you watch her run the bases, everybody that studied the film on her is uptight. The defense is uptight. They're afraid to throw the ball even from catcher back to the pitcher because she may advance. So it makes the whole defense play at a different level, and it opens it up for the next batter when she's on base. And she's going to find a way, if there's a way possible for her. She understands that you don't get rewarded until you get back home, and she's going to find a way to get as close to home as she can. And just again, fun to watch, fun to coach. And if there's one thing I've learned is when you have a player like that, you give them the freedom to play the game because you don't want to hold her back.
Yeah, very fun to watch. Brooklyn Carter now in the leadoff spot for you. You mentioned it. Let's go back to last Thursday, that 15-inning marathon to Houston. Cambry Kreger, 250 pitches on the night. That's wild. But unfortunately, at the end of the night, you guys had a one-run loss to Houston.
Yeah, extremely disappointing in the loss, especially when you spin your pitcher for basically the whole weekend. And that's insane numbers. It really is. Nothing we've ever – I think Kristen Vitek was under 200 when she set the national record that she still holds for strikeouts in 16 innings. And Krieger went 15 innings with 250 pitches. And we made some great defensive plays as well, but she pitched a gem of a game, and it's just – unfortunate that we couldn't push a run across. We had opportunities too, 17 left on base. But, we have a data analysis system there that lets you know the exit speed, the launch angle of the bat, and when balls are hit that should be leaving parks. And we hit 4 balls in that game that measured the distance of a home run, but we had 15, 20 mile an hour winds in our face, and the data system doesn't measure wind resistance. So if you can criticize our hitting, but when you barrel up that many balls on normal days in normal parks, you're going to have a lot of runs to show for it. She probably goes 7 innings, but still amazing feat. Why did we keep running her back out there? I'm sure a lot of people want to know that. We tried to pull her on 3 different occasions. I know maybe more, and she wouldn't have it. She wanted the ball. Velocity stayed up there, and she was feeling no pain. So my philosophy is typically is to give the pitcher the ball when they want it that badly, and she wanted it, and she wanted that win. Unfortunately, she didn't get it.
Wow, what an amazing performance, even in a loss by Cambry Kreger. All right, the week ahead, you got to go on the road now. UTA tomorrow. It's a busy week for you. You played last night. You play tomorrow, then a 3-game series at Kansas this weekend. Got to find a way to win on the road this week.
Yeah, the game last night is not a typical weekday that we'd play. It's usually Tuesday or Wednesday, but Lamar had an opportunity to come up here and play us, and you don't turn that down. And they're a good program. They're having a good season. So thought it was the right thing to do, but it did make for a tough week. We worked out this morning, lifted, and then I'll give them this afternoon off and go up to UTA. We've already played them once this year, and hopefully that'll be a good tune-up for us going into playing a team that's red hot in Kansas, and an opportunity to right the ship, turn things around. So excited about going to Lawrence, and I know it's going to be tough. They have a freshman that's hit 15 or 16 home runs on their team. They just took 2 of 3 from a very good Arizona State team. So we got a work cut out for us.
All right, final thought. Your RPI going in last night was 31, so still very, very positive RPI numbers, if you can keep things going positively.
Yeah, I think our strength of schedule is 24. Our RPI is 31. KPI, another measuring tool, is usually a bit of a variance between the two, and then not in our favor has improved to 31. So they're both the same. In the 30s, you're good, but we've got to reverse it. 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago, John, we were at 17. So we're on a slide right now, and we've got to return back to the team we were. And we know what's in front of us, the opportunity with Kansas, Utah. I think we have Oklahoma State and then Texas Tech have opportunities in front of us. So ball's in our court, and see what we can do with it.
All right, very good. Travel safe this week. Great to visit with you. Good to be out there with your group last night. Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you for all you do, John. Appreciate you.